What's up, movie world? Welcome to Dinner and Movie.
Dinner and Movie Review.
Dinner and Movie Review.
Dinner and Movie is that horrible thing on TBS.
That's like a TBS, yeah.
Like Ghostbusters and Marshmallow Puff Pie or something.
For The Raid
Redemption. Badass.
How awesome was this movie?
Oh my god.
How amazing was this thing?
It was pretty phenomenal.
What did you expect going into it?
I heard about it going in was basically it's just very bare bones premise. Super cop trying to secure a building. Gotta go, lots of bad guys. Sometimes some of the neighbors have to like pick sides to know which one they're on. Yeah, he kicks a lot of ass, and that's what we got.
Yeah,
It's a really no fat story.
Basic story is police have to raid New Jack City.
Right, here's New Jack City.
And it
exactly.
turns into aliens. But throw in like a little bit of Matrix, Old Boy, just non-stop kung fu action going on. There's your non-spoiler part of the review.
Yeah.
Now we're going to just talk about everything in it. So if you haven't seen The Raid, which
we
totally recommend,
go see it.
Full price movie.
That's awesome.
If you're an action movie kung fu lover, it doesn't get any better than this.
It really doesn't. It's a very no CGI, no wire fu, traditional, just ass-kicking, old-school action movie. There's no special effect. I mean, it's all amazing fight choreography, bone-breaking, so inventive.
Refreshing.
So refreshing. And like on top of that, the direction, which is this guy, we have to look him up. Like,
I didn't
Hollywood,
look anything up about this movie.
Yeah.
I'm like, let's just go check it out. You know, we'll see what's going on. Blown away. So
yeah.
we got to find out who this directed and written by the same guy.
Yeah, and he also did some of the fight choreography.
Okay.
So Hollywood, give him some money and just let him loose.
This is very much after seeing Kick-Ass with Matthew Vaughn. That guy proved he can do something with that movie.
Right.
Now it's time to give him something bigger.
Right.
And he was the one who did X-Men First Class, right?
Yes, and he did it well.
So now the director of this film needs to... I haven't seen an action movie since like The Matrix, where like the camera work really stood out so much.
That's the main thing with this one. It wasn't an action movie that you're blown away by explosions or special effects. You were blown away because of the inventiveness of the shots and little things when there's all in the dark and there's so much tension.
A lot of tension, and the filmmaking was what created that tension so well.
Definitely.
Unbelievably well.
No more so than you get in any other action movie that I've seen. You know,
Yeah.
I can't even remember how long. But like, there's a great scene in the beginning where all the cops are lined up and all killers are above them with machine guns. It's totally dark. They can't see each other. And then the one cop fires off a shotgun blast, and then you see the muzzle flash in slow motion. You see then that lights up and shows the killers where they are, the shot of the silhouettes, and then they open fire and they fucking just mow everybody down.
Before that shot, the cop's looking under the door and he sees someone step there and there's shadow, and it's just this moment-by-moment capturing of what everyone's reacting to and how the story's unfolding. It's just so
And
well
he
done.
does that throughout. Thing with the machete, where it slices it and cuts. It's got his face, and
Yeah,
they're totally
even when
silent.
the guy's pulling it from under the table, like you can hear it.
That
You can
almost
hear it.
exactly. You could see it. That
Yeah.
shot of when he gets out of his own cuffs, and you could see that point, the POV of the machete from underneath.
Right.
You know, and seeing him pull it from underneath the table, or just little things like when the guy gets shot, the annoying cop, and everything just slips into like not slow motion, but sound goes into faded. Everything's subdued.
It's like, I guess the guy got his ear shot or something.
Yeah, and
so it's now like we're supposed to feel what he's kind of feeling.
Yeah, or just the tension ratchet. It's just really well done.
It was consistent throughout. A lot of movies, especially after The Matrix came out, they were very show-offy with that. Dude, let's do that with everything now. But here, I mean, it really added to the tension in the moments, to the character. The story's so simple that once they get in, they realize that there's no way back out, and no one really knows they're there, and it's going pretty easy, right?
Right.
There's some really nice editing with like level 3, level 4, level 5, they're going through, handcuffing all the cops. It's such a great setup in the, you were laughing about this, when they're in the wagon beforehand, and they're breaking down kind of who this is and who's there. All right, he's got a right-hand man and a left-hand man. Going to be great at karate.
One's a mad dog and one's the other's like cool. The brains behind the operation.
Everyone in there is a criminal. You lean over, you're like, that means everyone's going to be like an ass kicker. Like every single apartment is filled with someone who could like
filled
beat
with a
their
bad
ass.
guy. It's a brilliant idea for a story. I mean, there's just enough innocent people. The one guy is innocent, and that's it. The one guy with the wife.
Yeah.
But everyone else is like, is a bad guy with machine guns and machetes.
So it's like they're trying to tiptoe around and do it as quietly as possible. They do this a lot of times where the shit hits the fan and everything just stops and everyone's quiet. And they're all just kind of exchanging glances. Then you know it's going to gear up to the next action sequence. Once they find out that they're there, the main bad guy's like, okay, everyone, you can live rent-free in this place if you take out these cops. And then it's just the floodgates of action unleashed. There's still enough time where they take pauses and they let the characters kind of figure out what's going on. There's a double cross involved and all that.
Right, there's a little bit of betrayal and then the brother story and everything.
Yeah.
But it's still tension, action. All right, new scene. ratcheting it up. Oh, action, intention, just really so well executed.
And the choreography is just so fun.
Also, it's really gory. It picks and chooses. It's so visceral. It's an amazingly visceral action movie in a way that I think most America's cinema strays away from, other than, of course, Stallone, the auteur. The auteur of cinema, of American cinema violence.
Every time we see each other, your love for Stallone and the Expendables increases. It's exponential.
Mostly from two movies, from Expendables and from Rambo, the fourth in the series that he recently came out with.
So later career Stallone
is better than earlier career Stallone in terms of action, direction, mainly because it's so visceral. Again, not to reuse that word, but just when people get shot in Rambo and Expendables, you see them get shot. You know what I mean? It's not just the bullet comes in, they fall down. Or there's a scoop of blood. Like, you see the blood, things explode from the back of their head and all this stuff. Say this movie had that aplenty.
This one
aplenty.
It was
just
a lot
like
of CGI blood though. Here.
It was well used though, very well used, and that's a good use of CGI.
I still haven't seen the latest Rambo one.
Oh, you gotta see it.
I know. I mean, they did that preview where it's like ridiculously bloody.
When he uses the turret gun on the dude right a foot in front of him.
Yeah.
Yes. Or when he just rips the guy's throat out with his bare hands.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of that kind of stuff in here. When they kill the sidekick to the end boss,
the super badass.
The super badass. I love also that he's like 5'2". He's tiny compared to everybody else.
The main cop here, we get the motivation that he has the wife and the. This is an example of kind of bad character motivation stuff.
Here's why it works though. Again, economy of storytelling.
Yeah.
Because in this particular instance, what would be bad for me is if we had to sit through like a whole scene of dialogue and him and the wife and about the baby and this, that, and the other thing, and he has a flashback later and he's thinking about it and this. No, it's literally a 30-second scene where the wife is in it for 20 seconds where he says, I love you to the wife, they allude to the baby, and then that's it. Okay, boom, done. We know what he's got at stake here. Pregnant wife at home.
They show him training a little bit.
They show the training sequence in the beginning, and then then there's the thing with the wife, which is literally 25 seconds. Then later, he's stumbling through the halls, about to die, and then boom, quick flash, 5 seconds, mom, stomach, baby, done. So I have it's cliche, yes, but because it's filmography, it's a cinema shorthand. You know what I mean? It's a very economical way of establishing this guy has stake beyond his own life.
And even before they did the baby flash in the middle of the movie after he gets hurt, I was thinking to myself, okay, this is a great example of a movie where I don't need more characterization in terms of like this main guy.
Right.
It's almost kind of a documentary approach. There's this great documentary guy from like the 60s, 70s, Frederick Wiseman, and he made like movies called like Cool. He wants to be the fly on the wall.
Right.
No judgment, no point of view, is this good or bad? He just wants to capture something. What would happen if police did a raid and it went wrong? And you don't get to see flashbacks or backstory about the characters. You just see who they are in the moment. And that's enough. And
that's very true, and that's what's revealed to you in the moment.
And these characters seem well drawn enough.
And again, you get a sense of this is a good guy. Then there's the little exchange with the guy that's the one good tenant, apparently, that's not a bad guy, that is trying to get the medicine to his sick wife. And he's the one, our hero, is the one that's like, no, let this guy get medicine to his sick wife. So they're economical. Again, okay, this is a moral man. He's a good man.
I'm glad that they didn't go, what if this neighbor in the beginning, he's really the
betrays him or something.
So no, he's a good guy. And the bad guy, he had a great moment in the first intro when he's knocking off those
Oh my god, just shooting him in the head and then runs out of bullets and goes for the hammer. Oh,
yeah, man. That's a classic movie trick where like the first time you see someone, you want to capture them in their most characterized kind of
diabolical
way. So it's very Lethal Weapon 2, right? Where with the fish tank guy, where he looks at the floor like, oh, I want to see if there's like a plastic covering anywhere.
But then the better thing is, there's more bullets in the drawer with the hammer.
Yes,
he chooses the hammer.
That's just an awesome little detail that in the hands of a bad filmmaker, instead of those bullets being in the drawer, you would spend 5 minutes talking about how bad of a guy he is. No, but in that moment, he makes the choice to choose the hammer over the bullets.
Very simple, very direct.
And just wonderfully done. And there's moments for every character like that.
And then if you can call it a plot twist, I mean, besides like the internal affairs, kind of like crooked cop stuff, his brother is the right-hand man, his brains behind the operation guy. And that's handled, it's one scene handled very well, not hammered home. It's always like a disappointment. I'm a bad guy now, I'm good at this,
But it's cool because it's like, I don't want to go back to the person I was.
Right,
this is what fits me now.
Yeah.
And even though he tries, oh, you're going to have a nephew on the way. And then it almost kind of sways them, but okay, that's great, but just have your life.
You have your life, I have mine. And a great ending shot with the bad brother walking away and the cop walking away, and them kind of looking at each other. Just a scene that was literally 1 minute and 30 seconds long, but said everything you need to say.
All visual, and there's not even a sentimental kind of goodbye. He just says, just keep walking. The same reason I'm not coming with you is the same reason you didn't take off your police clothes.
Well,
you had the chance.
Right, it's that way because exactly. Your uniform fits you, this fits me.
Yeah.
Again, if I have one, I mean, if I didn't get nitpicked, it went on a little too long. It could have been a little shorter. They could have tightened it up a little bit, I felt.
Well, it felt anticlimactic in a lot of ways. After the brothers duel fight.
Okay, that was awesome, though. That was one of the great fights. I mean, and the way he kill him, he stabs the thing, but he just gets more pissed off, and he just starts kicking their ass, and then he grabs it and then just slices his throat open. Oh, man.
Gory moments that the camera didn't blink. It's just like...
Right. We're going to show you everything that happens. And side note, if you still have a chance to see this in the theaters, see it in the theaters, because even though there was barely anyone there, but we were all clapping and cheering.
There was like 6 of us.
Yeah, it was a communal experience, though. I felt like I knew these people, you know?
After about 20 minutes, it's like, it's okay to just scream out when this action and these bad, like, horrible kills happen.
Yeah.
And just when great action, just reward it with some claps.
That's right, yeah.
If only watching this with a theater of 300 people, that would have been amazing. Just a riot, you know?
Yeah.
One of the henchmen of the main bad guy, he's just a kung fu master. And so there's this one cop, and this has a chance to shoot the guy. And he's like, no, pulling a trigger is like ordering takeout or something,
Great
right?
line, yeah.
And so he wants to fight him man-to-man.
Yeah.
And it's a great action sequence.
Yep.
And he wins. And then later, now he's going to fight the badass cop and the brother, who was kind of weak in the brother because he punched him a lot.
Yeah.
But now it's them
Usually
in like
it was a
the
human
cellar.
punching bag.
Yeah.
But again, and I love the way it builds to that in both scenes where he's got the gun on him and the cop has a knife. And then there's a little economy of like, the way he points the direction there of like, point at this little, two nods with the gun. Set the knife down. 2 nods with the gun up. Stand up. 2 nods with the gun left.
Yes.
Go into the room.
Yes. That's pure cinema right
there.
there.
Yeah, pure cinema. That's all the director. There were so many great things that come from this writer-director. I rave enough about it.
That especially, it's just no words. Part of the joy of watching the movie is that in our minds, we're filling in the blank. We're basically in our brains saying, we know the conversation that's taking place between these two guys, even though there's no words on the screen. And it's just so fun. I was like smiling to myself, like, this is great. Like, you know it's going to be a showdown in that room.
Yep.
And we don't have to have it told to us. It was so brilliant, so good.
Like when he was using the brother as a human punching bag, and just, the cop comes in, lowers him down, lets him take off the chains, lowers back up, and then walks in between the two of them. And then there's that pause, like, okay, now we go. In fact, the respect of people that are masters of their craft, you know what I mean?
Yeah. It was just, and then of course, very creative depths here and very creative kung fu. Like when they're fighting that guy in that dungeon-y kind of place, the fluorescent lamp breaks, and there's like a piece of fluorescent.
Yeah, right.
And he stabs him with the jugular, and through the lamp, like the blood's coming out.
Right.
But the guy still hasn't been slowed down or anything.
Yeah,
and
it just makes him mad.
Yeah,
that's how they kill him.
So after that point, how can they get any better than that?
And it doesn't.
It kind of doesn't, right?
Yeah, and that's my main complaint. The last scene in the drug lab was a little anticlimactic. It was definitely the least interesting of all the fight scenes. Maybe because it felt like there were times where it was building, like they're in that awesome. There's cool, like good camera work where like they're just charging at each other on the table. It was like almost like watching an anime sequence, you know, where they have the characters rushing and then they have like the lines behind them.
Yeah, like the wind comes.
Yeah, exactly. It was like that, live action. But then, like, so they're fighting. It's a good fight, and the tension's building, the music's building. Good music, by the way. Really good soundtrack.
Amazing really great
soundtrack.
Score, and it added to the character and emotion and tension of the scene so well.
So well, perfect for every. So, but that aside, so it's building, and then he knocks him off the table, and that's it.
Yeah.
Like, or like with the old guy, the old cop is just like he's sitting there like with a chair and like punching guys, and just like it's. Everyone else is kung fu Jackie Channing all around him. Yeah. And he's just kind of like just taking a slug here and there. It just didn't work. And then again, when you get to the main bad guy at the end, he's got, 2 guards at the top of the floor, and he's completely unprepared for the guy to break down. He's got cameras everywhere. Yeah. He doesn't have a camera outside his own door. Like,
it's not like a reinforced door
It's not reinforced. He doesn't have the club, the door club.
Right. The class is just permanent.
The old man kicks the door down.
Yeah.
And he doesn't have a shotgun blast waiting for him or anyone else in the room with him. And you think it's all part of some master plan, but it's not. Cop shoots him.
There's like a little hinting to a bigger sort of a conspiracy or someone else is in charge of all this. I don't know if Raid Redemption, if this is a sequel to something called The Raid before.
Sounds like a sequel.
And so now we're going to get The Raid, whatever, Evacuation, or I don't know what the third movie is going to be. It redeemed itself with like the ending emotionally, because you get the two brothers kind of separating and parting ways, and they're not going to meet each other's lives. But just from that final battle to the parting of the brothers, it's the anticlimactic resolution with the main bad guy.
Yeah.
The drug scene did also. Oh, everybody knows kung fu. Like, don't know how to fight,
I had the exact same response, because at that point it's like, yes, every single person in this building knows kung fu. Yeah. But there's a trope of kung fu cinema. Yes, every bad guy can fight.
One of your problems was Video Game 101, right? Where like they're in the hallways.
That pissed me off as action trope number 56 or whatever you want to call it, where he was kicking ass with a knife and a billy club. Loses them both during the fight, which is really cool the way they broke that down. First he loses the billy club, then he loses the knife. But then all the threats have been neutralized, and he steps over 2 billy clubs and steps over his own knife, and so just bend down and pick them up. Again, Video Game 101, you pick up the guns off your dead enemies, get the ammo, get the life packs, search the bodies, everything.
Charge up,
charge up, right, exactly. Why go barehanded if you don't have to? Especially because those billy club and knife scenes were so cool. Oh my god, the fight choreography. Again, I really want to look up what kind of fighting style this was, because it was wonderful.
What was great about the fighting was that you could see it all.
Oh yeah.
One of my examples of like horrible action camera work is Michael Bay in Transformers.
Yes.
Where he just
shake your cam. You have no idea what's happening.
Here you can tell it's fast, exciting, and you can tell what's going on.
Exactly. You can see every knife stab, every bone breaking, every time he shivs into one guy and slices and then goes into the next guy. Awesome.
I mean, there's nothing recently that can compare to this.
I hope Hollywood takes notice. I hope they give him some money to do American film and see what comes of it.
Yeah, this is the announcement of someone who knows how to make movies.
Yeah, definitely. Not just shoot special effects. Someone that knows how to tell a story through camera work.
Exactly. And knows why this camera's pointing here and what it's trying to capture, and characters. Whoever directed this needs to be respected for it, recognized, and given some funding for more.
And given the keys out to a franchise like Wolverine or something like that. I mean, how awesome would it be to have Wolverine with the claws and just going to berserker mode?
Oh my god.
Can you imagine? I mean, talk about, he's got the knife fight down, so same thing with the...
Well, it's funny because X-Men Wolverine, that origin story, they had like 4 or 5 horrible run at each other moments in that.
Yeah.
Remember like Wolverine and a
Sabretooth,
Like, all they do is run at each other, But here, if you watch that drug lab scene, that's what a run at each other is supposed to look like.
Right, exactly.
I'm so pleasantly surprised. Can't praise this movie enough. It's just straight up great filmmaking and storytelling. And
meat and potatoes, boom, here's what it is, and knocks it out of the park. And it just goes to show, you don't need a lot of special effects or huge budgets to make a wonderful movie, even a wonderful action movie.
Full price, go see it, movie hope.
All that good stuff.
And all that good stuff.
All right.
Remember, Hollywood gives you more of what you pay for, so choose your movies wisely, and as always, long live good movies.